there are two important concepts that you need to understand to get better at painting skin. First is subsurface sketching, and second is color variation. So let's first start with subsurface sketching. Now, just so you know, human skin is a translucent surface. That means light does penetrate our skin. Most of that light is absorbed by the skin, but some of it is scattered and reflected. And when it comes out of the other side, it seems as if the skin is glowing. You must have tried this trick at least once in your life, where you will hold a torch light very close to your hand, and your hand will seem to glow. That is what you call subsurface sketching. And the reason why subsurface light is red is because when white light hits the surface of the skin, most of the blue light is either absorbed or scattered. And it's mostly the red light that enters the skin and is reflected back and makes the skin glow red. Subsurface sketching is mostly visible in strong direct lighting conditions. For example, in this picture, the face is being hit by a strong light, and you can see the red line being formed on the edge of the shadow. Another thing that subsurface sketching does is it makes the shadows on the skin more saturated. Shadows on the skin will naturally shift towards the red, unless there is another light source, desaturating or tinting the shadow with another color. Now, here is a very simple portrait that I created, and it has a light side and a shadow side. But the problem is that it looks quite dead. I mean, the skin doesn't look like skin, and that's because to create the shadows, I just went darker without changing anything else. It could work for inanimate objects, but it will not work for skin. So to fix it, what I'm going to do is select the shadow color, move it towards the red, and saturate it a bit, and then apply it on the shadows. Second thing that I'm going to do is select the mid-value color, move it towards the red, saturate it, and lightly apply it on the mid-value areas. Now, the lighting in this one is pretty strong, so I would select a very bright pink or orange and create the subsurface sketching effect on the edge of the form shadows. Now, this looks way more like skin than the previous version. Okay, so that was subsurface sketching. Now, let's talk about color variation. Look at this picture here. If I use my color picker on the face, you will see that the hue slide moves quite a lot. That's because the human skin is not a constant color. Look at these paintings by some really popular artists. These are masters that know absolutely what they are doing. All of them has their own style of painting, but each one of them has used some form of color variation to paint the skin, because that's what makes the skin look more alive. It shows that there are things going on under the skin. Human skin will show 3 or more color variation on top of your normal skin tone. For example, this face can be divided into 3 color zones. The forehead will be yellowish in color, the cheeks and the nose will be reddish, and the lower part of the face will be greenish in color. To understand why this happens, we need to start looking underneath the skin. So what lies under the skin are blood vessels and muscles, and a layer of fat that lies just underneath the surface of the skin and above the muscles. And fat is yellow in color, and that's what gives that yellow tint to the skin. So what about the red color? Our bodies has a large network of blood vessels, and the red color in the skin comes from blood that is flowing through these blood vessels or veins. Some part of the body looks more red than the other, like the cheeks. That may happen because the concentration of blood vessels is higher in these areas. Other areas in the body that are naturally more reddish are the skin around the joints. I don't know why that happens, but if I have to guess, I would say that joints have to work more, so they require more blood flow, which causes them to look more red. The same can be said about the eyelids. Now, the green color on the skin comes because of hair. We have hair all around our body, and some areas, like the face and the head, are more dense in hair than other. If you shave this hair off, you'll see a green color left behind. This is way more visible on men than women because, well, men have much denser facial hair. There might be other areas on the body where you might notice a greenish or bluish tint, like under your eyes, or on your biceps, or on your hands. And that happens not because of hair, but because of veins. The areas on the body where veins are more on the surface might look greenish or bluish. Blood vessels or veins are actually red because of the blood, but they appear bluish or greenish because the light gets filtered by the skin and changes its color. This happens because the red light penetrates the skin deep, but the blue light, after hitting the veins through the skin, is reflected back, making the veins look bluish or greenish. So let's bring our simple portrait from before and try to add some color variations to it. And I'm not going to do anything fancy. I will do what I just explained. I will apply a reddish color on the cheeks and the nose, green to the areas around the lips, and a bit yellow to the forehead. I will spread these colors a bit so it doesn't look artificial. I will also darken the eyelids because they work a lot, so they would need more blood. And this is a before and after. The change is subtle, but it definitely makes a difference. Now let me show you how I would apply all this knowledge in my own paintings. I normally start my painting by first filling in the base color to different elements of the portrait. But for this one, I will tackle the skin first. So I'm using the mid valley as my base color for the skin, and from here, I would either go darker or lighter to create my lighting. To block in my shadows, I would use a darker and more saturated version of the base color, and I will also shift the hue towards the red. Then I will create some color variation to the skin, and then build up my painting on top. Now, of course, if you want, you can tackle color variation at the very end by using layer modes or other Photoshop features. It's your choice. I personally like to do it this way. Then I will paint in the lights. Normally, when white light hits a surface, it ends up desaturating the colors. And it will desaturate the skin too, but not too much because of subsurface scattering. It's subtle, but subsurface light will saturate the light side. And the mid values are especially very important because that's where the subsurface scattering will be the strongest. The main light in this painting isn't very strong, so subsurface light won't be as strong either, but it will still saturate your mid values. I am using a reference here, so I am definitely trying to paint what I see, but I am also trying to push the colors a little bit to make it a bit more stylized. And to do that, you first need to understand how skin actually works. So basically, to create this painting, I am combining what I see and what I know. And this is the video. This is how you paint skin. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.